Welcome back to another BlizzCon prediction. There's only 61 days till BlizzCon is going to happen, and a lot of exciting things could happen. So this is why I am now here, going to predict what I think we will be seeing. Just so you're aware, I have not gotten any inside information or anything like that, even though I'm a Blizzard partner, or not a Blizzard partner, but a WoW partner, World of Warcraft partner. I have no knowledge of anything at all. So all of this is just going to be me guessing and reading the internet. You know, there's a lot of things going on the internet, and this is what I believe is going to happen. So if you're excited about BlizzCon as well, and you want to see if I have the same predictions as you, let's get to it. Let's start with prediction number 1, the next retail expansion. So they have already told us at the last BlizzCon, I believe, where they told us that we're going to get the World Soul Saga, which is going to be the War Within, Midnight, and then the last one was the Last Titan. So we already know about this one here, and they have also mentioned before that the release windows between these expansions now are about 18 months. So that means if you're looking at when Midnight was releasing, this next one here should be around September 2027, which is actually, a year after BlizzCon, which is going to be exciting. A lot of time for beta testing, alpha testing, and so on. But now you might be asking, what is it going to be? Well, the epic final to the 3-part World Soul Saga, launching 18 months after Midnight. This expansion will bring players back to a completely redesigned Northrend to uncover a massive conspiracy regarding the Titan's true intentions for Azeroth. Of course, it's going to be retail, so it's going to have new dungeons, new delves, new raids, all the standard content, and it's probably going to have either a new class, a new race, a new allied race, and some small thing just like Midnight and the War Within kind of had, or a new game mode possibly. So nothing big there. I think it's just going to be like another retail expansion. It's going to feed more content into the game, and we're all going to play it and have fun for a couple of months, and just like how the standard retail mechanic is working. But that is the first prediction, and I mean, it's not really a prediction, we all know. But what I believe we're going to be seeing is they're going to be showing us, of course, a cinematic trailer. They're going to show us some gameplay trailers. They might show like a panel of developers standing up on a stage and talking about like all the new zones and new stuff, but nothing more crazy than that. Just like a standard new expansion reveal that we already know the name of. The next prediction is more like what I feel like the audience has been asking for in a very long time, and also what a lot of people is talking about on social media, and a lot of people has been talking about like leaks and rumors. And I mean, you never know what is true in this age with leaks and rumors, because the next thing I believe is going to be shown at BlizzCon is, of course, World of Warcraft Classic Plus. It is not going to be called Classic Plus, not at all. It's definitely going to have a name, something else, something cool, but it's not going to be Classic Plus. But it's, they're going to, of course, they're going to joke on it on the stage, they're going to call it Classic Plus, but then actually show us the real name for it. What I believe is that this Classic Plus is something they have been working on since Season of Discovery, probably even after the very first season of Season of Discovery, because they saw how popular it was. So I think this is something they have been working on for a very long time. And I believe personally this is going to be released 1 week after, or possibly 2 weeks after. It could be anything between 1 or 5 weeks after BlizzCon. I don't think they're going to drop it on the stage and say it's out now, because you can imagine how many people who is attending to BlizzCon, even like all the big content creators, they would not be able to play because they're basically standing there on the stage with them. So I personally believe they're going to be saying, hey, it's here, it's finally happening, you're all being crying for it, now it's here. And then they're going to be like releasing next week. So get home, get ready. Something like that. And now if you might be asking me, what the hell is Classic Plus? Well, what it might be is an alternate timeline for vanilla WoW. Instead of progressing linearly into the Burning Crusade, the lore branches off into a completely new direction, much like Marvel Multiverse timeline, giving the developers freedom to create a brand new level 60 content. So imagine you have World of Warcraft Vanilla, the very first game they released, which is also a lot of people known as Classic. Imagine the Burning Crusade never opened, like the Dark Portal never opened, but something else happened, something that changes the story totally. You know, Blood Elves never happened, they became High Elves instead. Orcs or joined like the trolls, and Omani's joining a horde. You know, a lot of things could happen. Like they could literally rewrite the story into whatever they wanted. But the main thing is no one really cares about what the lore is going to be about. People just want classic vanilla with more content. Of course, it would also be nice to get some balance updates, like, you know, so it's not only warriors that can tank and not only priests that is going to be the meta healer, or frost mages with spamming frostball. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a better vanilla version with more flavor than not just vanilla, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's going to be vanilla WoW with new content, and where they have still tried to modernize it a little bit and make it fun for everyone. I believe this is what's going to happen. But again, this is my prediction number 2, that we're going to be seeing WoW Classic releasing probably a week later after BlizzCon, and then we have the World of Warcraft Last Titan, which is releasing a year after BlizzCon. But that's my predictions for World of Warcraft. Let's move on to the other games. Then we have Diablo. Diablo released a new expansion, Lord of Hatred, which it seemed like it was quite popular, you know, at least for like a month, because everyone plays it for the campaign, the story, the lore, and, you know, basically try the new content. Then when it comes to season farming and so on, then you can see all the normal casual players are probably jumping off, and then all the seasoned player, they are still playing the seasons. But now, what's going to happen with Diablo? What I think is going to be happening is they're going to be announcing the next expansion, of course, the one, because we just had Lord of Hatred, so where we were fighting Mephisto. In case you're not very much into Diablo, basically Diablo has 3 big overlords, or these big guys that you fight against. They have Diablo, they have Baal, and Mephisto. We just killed or banished Mephisto, so what is going to happen next? Well, it could be Diablo, of course, since the game is called Diablo, but I don't think so. I think that's too early. I think we're going to be meeting the other one, which is Baal, or Baal. I don't know how people actually pronounce his name, but it's probably going to be Baal or Baal, which is also the one you fight in Diablo 2, or the expansion they had there, which I can't remember the name of, but there was an expansion for Diablo 2 where you actually fight Baal himself. So, I think this next expansion, they're going to be showing an expansion for Diablo 4, with, of course, maybe some new classes, something new. But basically an expansion that's going to be about the other Big Brother, or whatever we're going to call them, the Primevals. Yeah, the Primevals. As I wrote in my notes here, the next major chapter for Diablo, since Lord of Hatred expansion wrapped up with the battle with Mephisto, this next release is the perfect time to bring Baal into a spotlight, continuing the revival of the primal evils, before finally facing Diablo himself. So, this is what I believe. It's likely going to release in 2027 or a little bit later. Diablo expansion usually release a few months after WoW expansions. So if the Last Titan for WoW is releasing in September, I believe that the next Diablo expansion could probably somewhere between very late 2027 or in the very early, maybe something like February 2028. Could also be a solution, or possibly a solution. But yeah, it will be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the last expansion in Diablo 4, so I really can't wait to see what's the next expansion going to come with. Then, now, we have prediction number 4, which is going to be a little bit crazy, but it's something that Blizzard has been cooking for many years. They kind of failed cooking it, and then they started again, and failed cooking, and started again. Because what I believe, and also what I think half the internet is believing, is that BlizzCon is going... So you might be thinking, okay, what is the biggest game? What is the main game they want to show at BlizzCon this year? A lot of people is probably thinking Classic Plus, but it's not. It is not. But Classic Plus is going to be the game over in the corner. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to, of course, it's going to be a big announcement, but it's not going to be the one on the main poster. I think the game that's going to be in the main poster is going to be a new StarCraft game. A new StarCraft shooter game. Yes, you heard me right. A new StarCraft shooter game. It's going to be a third-person StarCraft shooting game, of course, in the StarCraft universe. So not first-person like the Destiny or Overwatch, but a third-person, so you actually see it from behind the character, kind of like in WoW. We don't know when it's going to be releasing, but it's probably early in development, but it's still enough time so they can actually start showing us stuff, and we maybe even having people on the stage floor to actually test it in some kind of like early stage of it. But what I wrote down in my notes here is it's a new shooter set in the StarCraft universe with some older rumors pointed to a Destiny 2 competitor, but recent community leaks suggest it might actually lean into the extraction shooter genre or take inspiration from the co-op PvE style of Helldivers, keeping it from directly competing with Destiny and other games like that. So, but again, we have no idea what this game is going to be about. We can only speculate, but everyone seems to be very, very agreeing that Blizzard is going to be showing a StarCraft shooter at BlizzCon, but we have no ideas if it's actually true. With all the people talking about it, I kind of feel like it's gonna be true. But again, I have no insider knowledge. I have no idea if it's true, but me personally, I believe in it. I hope it. I love the StarCraft IP, and I really think it deserves more love. And especially with Microsoft have bought Blizzard, they have so many developing teams out there that they could just, the cool thing a lot of people don't realize is when Microsoft took over Blizzard, they actually allows Microsoft to create Blizzard IPs in all companies. Like, all the companies, all the many gaming companies they own could now technically make expansions for StarCraft, Diablo, all the many games that Blizzard is owning, because they are now all part of the same company. So now Microsoft can technically put 10 developer houses to make Blizzard IPs of new content. They could all make new StarCraft and Diablo games if they wanted, a new WoW games. So I don't think this is something, I don't think it's hopium. I think this is going to happen because according to rumors and so on, Blizzard has basically been trying to make this 3 times now. They have tried, with different Project Titan and a lot of things. Even I think Overwatch was maybe supposed to be like a StarCraft game, but then became Overwatch instead, if that's even true. And they also had that StarCraft Ghost game, which is like a shooting game also, but also failed to release. So I think this is something Blizzard has been cooking for, 10, 20 years. But now finally they have something ready to show us. So I am really, really excited to see this. I'm still more personally excited about Classic Plus, of course. But this one here is a big number 2 for me personally. And then the very last one I want to talk about is, this one is a hopium. This is a hopium prediction. This is just me hoping it happens. I personally hope that we are going to get Heroes of the Storm 3.0. A lot of people are saying Heroes of the Storm 2.0, but what they don't realize is they already made that. They already had Heroes of the Storm, and then they already made 2.0 with a big update. So next update would actually be 3.0. If you don't know Heroes of the Storm, it's basically a MOBA, just like League of Legends and Dota, but where it was all the Warcraft and StarCraft and Overwatch heroes together in one game, playing in a MOBA map and so on. I love the game. I played it so much. I have so many hours in it, but I stopped playing it the moment they told us that the game was dead and they stopping to make new things in it, that I didn't really want to touch it anymore. But I hope Microsoft is gonna come in and be like, hey, this is an IP that we technically could get on consoles as well, because we don't have any good MOBAs on consoles, to be real. We don't really have any MOBA there's no League of Legends or Dota on consoles. So I'm like, you have an entire console market out there with no MOBAs on. So I'm like, damn, this is a market they really could take over if they were one of the first to do it. So I hope we're gonna see something about Heroes of the Storm, but I don't think so. It's just hope. I don't think so, but I hope. So that's it. So this was all my predictions for BlizzCon 2026. I will not be attending myself. Maybe next time. The money, the time is not at the right place right now for BlizzCon. So I'll probably join another year. But still, I will be watching from home. I'll be live streaming it on Twitch, and we all can watch it together in case you're not going as well. Then we can watch it together on Twitch and have a good fun with the reaction on it. But still. And again, of course, they're also going to show new stuff about Diablo Immortal. They're also going to be showing new stuff about Overwatch. But I don't have much to say about that, because Diablo Immortal is going its own like expansion releases, but I'm not really into mobile games. And Overwatch, of course, is going to add new heroes and new maps, which I don't really play it. And then, of course, they're going to show more about the mobile game they're making with Overwatch. They could possibly also show other new mobile games, but yeah. Again, I mentioned my predictions that is heavily inspired by social media, because everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about, like, you know, what could be happening, what they think is happening. And then I have just, you know, taken it all in and be like, okay, I'm going to join in on these. So again, no leaks here, not anything. This is just me speculating based on what I have written and also what I think and what I hope. So, you know, no one can come back at me and be angry. Not you as well, Blizzard. don't sue me. But like, you know, it's just like me hoping, believing what we're gonna be seeing based on what I can read on social media. So we shall see. Let me know in comment section, what do you believe? Is there anything I have not mentioned that you believe we're going to be seeing? Are you going to be most disappointed with this or most excited about this? Or like, what do you hope? What do you believe? Do you have a hopium like me with Heroes of the Storm coming back? Like, what do you think? Like, is there anything you really want to come back? Is there something you really want them to show, change? Let me know. I am excited to hear what you all think is going to happen, or what you want to hear they're going to announce or something like that. Of course, how could I forget, you know, our old favorite card game, which I can't even remember the name of. That's actually quite embarrassing that I even can't remember the name of the game. But, you know, the card game they have, Hearthstone. Embarrassing. Of course, they're going to show more Hearthstone expansions, but I don't think we're going to see any, like, exploding things from it. Like, not something like the game is totally changing the way it plays. It's probably going to be the same way it is right now, just with new expansion, new cards, and so on. One thing that would excite me is if they actually announced it for consoles, because, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to play that on a console? That would work pretty well on a console, I believe. So that would be pretty cool if they announced it on console. But that's probably it, I guess. But yeah, let me know in the comment section. I am really keen to hear what you all think, believe, hope. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.